second attribute around creating elite teams is that aligned with purpose. This one's a real big one. What you want to do is you want to take an individual's core values and then that core values of the company and make sure they're lined up, right? And there's show up to play values that are, this person honest, they show up. Those are show up to play. I mean, obviously to get in the game, those are things that you need, right? But there's also a whole other series of what we call core values, things that are the company's built around that really need to align around that individual. And then once we make sure that that's set up, the other side of what we need to make sure we have around purpose is really around that person's life journey. You think about this, right? We're all on a journey right now, from a place that we start to wherever that ends. And in this journey, we're looking for ways to take our intrinsic value as a human being, our gifts, our talents, and align them specifically to what it is that we do for the organization. And in a way that we're enriching someone else somehow, right? And it could be to the general public, it could be to people inside the company, but regardless, we want people that feel good about what they're doing. It's really about contribution. And we also have to understand that as we look at younger generations that come in today, that they may not be with the company for 10, 20, 30 years as we've seen in the past with the Fortune 500 companies that are around. People today may end up being with a company for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years or 7 years. And that doesn't mean that that person is paying any less of a contribution than someone who's been there for 10 years. I tell organizations when I speak in front of them or when I work with executive teams, it's like, hey, let's make this a welcoming place for someone to be here for 2 years or 3 years. As long as that person's aligned with what they're doing and what they give, then why not benefit from that? And on top of it, think about this. They're in an evolution, right? We're all in some type of evolution, of some type of change as we grow. And why not take that specific role that we have within inside of a company and use it to become a better version of ourselves that we can use to catapult us to the next role. And maybe that's within another company. And that's all right. That's not a situation. But it really comes back to the culture of the organization and being open to this idea and also being aware of this idea. That each one of us has something to give. Each one of us wants to have significance and we want to see that what we do is actually making a difference. Not only for this that one person, but for everyone else that we can touch.